This is our third week of Advent and our fourth week of our Advent of a Revolution, and then going into Birth of a Movement season. And tonight, I'm so honored to be joined by incredible leaders from across the network, representing Freedom Church of the Poor, our Free Families campaign, Black Christians for Palestine, and La Iglesia del Pueblo. And tonight we're going to get into Mary's Magnificat and the practice of Las Posadas to tell the story. And just in thinking about the story that we're going to reflect on this evening, I think sometimes when something magnificent happens, something so great and beautiful and powerful and life-changing happens, we can sometimes forget about the times before that time. The time before the joy and the gladness and the peace, the time before the light, this time of darkness. And my pastor this morning, Pastor Pete, opened us up this morning in church thinking about what came before the story of the birth of Jesus Christ and this revolutionary movement that he would lead, that would inspire many of us as we struggle for liberation today. And even before Mary sings Mary's song that we've sung for generations and centuries now, when Mary was actually told that she would be the mother of Jesus Christ, I don't know about you, but I can only imagine being a young person and visited by this angel who's telling you that you're gonna give birth to this revolutionary, but you're a not yet wed young person in a time where not much, unlike our own, single women or women who give birth without being married are still looked down upon. It's still taboo. But just thinking about, especially in Mary's time, and for her receiving this news and knowing that, God has these plans for her, but, and this incredible future, but also living in the realities of the day and society and coming up against, perhaps your own community, how scary that must have been. And this story that we're getting into of Mary's song, this is when Mary goes after hearing, the future, this, that the angel has brought to her. She goes to her cousin Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, for those who don't know, I didn't know, but, is the descendant of Aaron. And comes from this priestly line, just, and is married to a priest, Zechariah. And, Mary's going to her cousin probably to, ask her cousin or big cousin for advice on what to do. And I'm sure, again, even though, sometimes when we go to those who love with hard truths, that can also be scary. What about, what if they reject me? What if, And so just to imagine what it must have been like for Mary to go to her cousin's house, and upon finding her cousin's belly leaps with joy. She's pregnant with John the Baptist. And Mary and Elizabeth is not unlike Mary. In the story, we're told that, Elizabeth and her husband Zechariah were, the best of people, most in line with, God's desires, what God wants for us. And yet they were getting into old age, and it was said Elizabeth wouldn't be able to become pregnant. And Elizabeth, her older cousin, who was told that she wouldn't be able to become pregnant, also hears the voice of an angel and becomes pregnant because of God's will. And so when Elizabeth's baby leaps for joy upon hearing Mary's voice, Elizabeth greets her cousin with so much love that then brings Mary to sing the song of Mary. And so when we're in this dark time, living in the time and place that we're living in, just reflecting on what it means by merely greeting our loved ones with love and excitement and care, greeting people in our community in that way, being that Elizabeth for folks, knowing that we may not know what people are going through right now, and how life-changing that was for Mary as she begins her adventure, and how life-changing that might be from someone in our community who has a purpose, a liberatory destiny, who might be afraid of getting involved in struggle or remaining in struggle.